And I must say, I was really quite distressed to find that in November of 21 there was a reported death of a 14-year-old, and that young person's death remains unexplained. Well, the three representatives of this class action, their adverse events I can certainly talk freely about. So one is a man in his 40s named Gareth who had severe myopericarditis, and as a consequence of that had to undergo open heart surgery. It's had enormous impacts on his ability to enjoy his life, care for his family and work. The second applicant, Anthony, he suffered an extremely significant and debilitating chronic fatigue type of syndrome and neurological syndrome that has been near incapacitating and very difficult, I think, those types of reactions to live with, because there's no name for it, there's no treatment for it. We're dealing with just such uncharted waters, and yet completely and utterly life-changing for this man. And the final of the three is Antonio, and this is a man who experienced spinal cord lesions or inflammation of the spinal cord, so myelitis essentially, and was unable to walk, was bedbound for some months, had to undergo lengthy rehabilitation, and remains unable to walk unassisted.
500 Australians have joined in the class action. You mentioned as a GP, so did you see what kind of first got you interested or raised awareness in your practice about what was happening?
I've been in this area for more than 10 years and my clinic for 8 years this year, and there was certainly a change in the pattern amongst my patient cohort. And from there I looked at the TGA DAN database, and I must say I was really quite distressed to find that in November of 21 there was a reported death of a 14-year-old, and that young person's death remains unexplained. There were at that stage a number of young people, teenagers with cardiac arrests, at least several of them with death as a consequence of that adverse event. And the numbers statistically really don't add up that we would expect that to be coincident.